So to get started with the assignment for week 11, I want you to return to the last model that you had created that has the full Folly proto building. And make sure that it is still at the large scale. We shrunk it down to do a few things. And so make sure that it is still about 300 feet long. If it's not, and you don't have an accurate version, go ahead and scale that up again. But I want you to use that base model and create a new layer logic. We're going to use a layer logic today that is related to the materials that will be assigned to the different parts of the project. So I want you to think about the architectural elements and the kinds of materials that they would be made of. So after you set up the new layer logic, I'll want you to take the different parts of the model and place them on the appropriate layers. So your frame would be on the steel frame layer, your floors would be on the concrete floor layer, your mullions would be on the aluminum mullion layer, etc. Now that we have our elements on different layers, it's a lot easier to change their materials consistently. So I'm going to want you to open the materials palette and clear it out if you have a lot of excess materials that you're not using right now, so that you can make way for a good clean palette. So let's choose the materials that we're going to need for this project. We're going to want some steel, and I would recommend a satin steel, and we're also going to want some satin aluminum for the mullions. We're also going to want some concrete, which you will find under the architecture section under walls. I think I'd pick board and batten or concrete light. And after you've selected the materials, you'll go back in and change some of the properties. You may wish to change levels of reflectivity or even opacity for the materials, or even colors for things like your glass. So you've selected your set of materials, and now you'll want to apply the different materials to the different objects on the layer. So as you go through each of the layers, select all the objects and simply apply the materials to all of the objects on that layer. So the drawing that we're going to make with the model, now that it has the materials, is called an exploded isometric. And the isometric is one of the standard views. It is a non-perspectival but three-dimensional view. So we are able to sort of see objects without foreshortening. But we still get the effect of three-dimensionality because we're looking from above and from a corner. So we can choose northeast, northwest, etc., the best basic diagonal to look at the object from a preferred view. So you'll want to pick the best view for your composition and then save that view so we can continually return to it as we go through the steps of preparing the exploded parts of the isometric.